Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Doc and Queenie Facebook Live on Mondays at high noon.
Good for you. Wow.
I almost was going to sing that, but
Yeah.
that's your talent, Queenie.
I would never take that away from you. That's okay, Doc. I love it. How are you?
I am fabulous. How are you?
Excellent. Well, I am not emotionally equipped to handle Chiefs football on a Sunday morning. I don't know about everybody else, but it's not a good fit for me.
Let's start with we had to get up early.
Yeah. That's one thing, but I, the first half I'm just breezing through thinking I can handle this. Second half, I realized I can't. So, yeah.
Well, we also we were going to go to some local establishments because they were having early Chiefs games or whatever. I don't know I guess that you would call it a party.
Watch party. Watch party.
Yeah. But we were looking at what they posted afterwards. People were making reservations, and I'm like, we probably never would have gotten in.
Yep.
So then I would have been upset because I got up early to get there. So, but yeah, it was a good first half. And then the second was actually it was kind of what they used to do to us last year.
I like it when they don't stress me out.
Yeah. I would say though last year they would be behind and then they'd make the push a little bit in the third quarter, but then in the fourth quarter they come on strong and win. So
I'm telling you, it was difficult, and I really did try very hard to breathe. Yeah, and of course then they come through. It was very cool to watch, and it was very awesome to see the fan base even in Frankfurt, Germany. So that part was fun.
Well, and there was a lesson, like everything. There was a lesson in it. One of our linebackers lost his cool and shoved another player right in front of the ref. The lesson, and it's easy for me to say, but it's kind of for all of us. You got to keep your cool no matter what's going on around you, because there's consequences. And that could have been, they scored a touchdown after that. It could have lost the game, basically.
And as far as the lesson piece, my thing is kids are people, but kids are always watching.
Yes.
And bad enough that your adult peer group would see that. But when a kid sees that and they've got you up on this football person pedestal thing, and all of a sudden you do something like that, they think it's okay. And so that's the part that I always think about, shoving, pushing, punching, whatever you do. Little people are watching, and I just don't think that is a great plan. I'm sure it's not easy being in the spotlight. We were talking about that actually on one of my calls earlier this morning, that being in the spotlight is it brings with it lots of responsibility. And all of a sudden people recognize you from somewhere and they follow you around, and the cameras and all the stuff. I get that would probably be, please leave me alone, maybe. But regardless of that, celebrity is fleeting. And we're popular and fabulous today, but it's not necessarily going to last 100 years. So I think you need to maybe go with it while it's happening. And people are always watching.
Well, and I've heard people say, well, they're just really hyped up and competitive. Yes, but you still need to be under control.
Yeah.
You still
Absolutely.
need to.
And once again, I'm sure that the Chiefs are taking care of everything Doc and Queenie says.
Yeah.
Doc and Queenie says this, so you has to do that. But the rest of the story is it's very awesome to have Chiefs Kingdom, because we are known seriously globally. It's really hysterical to go to these other countries. And I put Chiefs banners up in my Zoom background sometimes. And so it really is funny when they go, oh my gosh, I watched that game. And it's just a funny thing because we are bigger than just certainly Kansas City and even USA.
Well, and our biggest fan base, I heard, is in Germany. So one of our biggest fan bases.
Isn't that cool? Yeah, isn't that cool?
I also read in good morning to Miss Karen and Miss Debbie. Thank you for joining us. Hi. But the Chiefs, I don't know if it was set a record, but they've won, and they've been in 4 different, around the world places. I saw that on one of the, I think it was my Instagram account or something.
Nice.
I follow 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 or 12 Chiefs groups.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was Chiefs Kingdom. I don't know if it was Chiefs. I don't know if it yeah. But they were talking about they had one in each world location per se. You know, they won in Mexico, they won in Germany. I don't remember any other, you know, who knows, but it was kind of cool. And Kelsey also, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's very cool to see them celebrity in other places, and it's just further credence to the fact that it's not just our little corner of the world. It's bigger, and I love that.
And also shout out, of course, like they're even watching us. Haha.
Yeah.
You know, Kelsey set a franchise record with it was, I don't know how many yards he got yesterday. He did not catch a lot, but he is at the top of the tight end group. So that was pretty cool too.
I love hearing that. And speaking of setting records, our very own gorgeous Karen Higgins is on the call. Hi, Karen. And if you stalk Karen on Facebook, as I do, you got to see her gorgeous gown. She went to a gala over the weekend with her sister, Robin, and it was just very fun to see all this glitz and glam with our ladies. And it's just fun to see, not only, of course, being able to help nonprofits and galas that way, but also just a cool chance / excuse to dress up. And Karen, your red gown was gorgeous and you look amazing. And we were super, super, super excited to see that. And I love that you're part of our Doc and Queenie community for sure. I love that. And Debbie, I got to see Debbie this morning on a posting party. So we've already been together on a call.
You know, that is really surprising.
I know. I know.
So yeah, you know, I don't get many opportunities to dress up, but I do when I do.
Yeah, I know, seriously. But Karen, honestly, you look gorgeous.
Awesome.
And that red gown just lights you up. It was fabulous.
Very cool. Very cool. So hey, Queenie, happy Nachos Day.
Oh, happy Nachos Day to you, Doc. That really is one of my main go-tos. I have no time for this, no time for this. Grab, grab, grab. And I literally do corn tortillas. Don't hurt me. That's all I do. And then cheese on top of that. Shredded cheddar is my thing. And about 400 jalapeno peppers. And so I microwave that. I know, once again, this is not my day to be on your naturopath call. And then once I have that all glommed together, I really feel that the 400 jalapeno peppers cut out the fat and the whatever else is in that corn tortilla stuff. So that's my rationale and I'm sticking to it.
So I have a question about your cheddar cheese.
Okay.
If I know it's personal, but
yeah, it's definitely personal. Yeah.
Is that mild, medium, or sharp cheddar?
Actually mild for this because of the jalapenos. If I did sharp, it probably would actually kill me. And I don't actually use enough to worry about it or mess with it. But that is my go-to when I have absolutely zero time for anything else. I can do a saucer of that, and it just gets me through the moment. So that I love nachos. And I just thought of this. I've had nachos out. Trying to think if it was Houlihan's or somewhere. They do like plates. And again, I do a saucer because I would eat a plate. But they do plates of those things, and they do.
It's like
yeah, it's a meal, and of course they put meat on it. Ew. And so, but I've been out places, and they literally make it like a presentation.
Well, yes, and I think a lot of places do, and meat is good for you, though. You know, Queenie.
I know.
But yeah, I'm just surprised it's just a couple of ingredients. And good afternoon, Terry Ann. Yeah, I will occasionally do it with the family when I'm too lazy to cook.
Yeah.
You know,
oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, of course you brown the beef or chicken or whatever. Make sure that's cooked. But I like my nachos like I like my salad. I love we call them junk salads. Everything goes on it and in it, and that's kind of how our nachos. So happy National Nacho Day.
Thank you. This is my time to shine.
So tomorrow's Hug a Bear Day.
Hug a bear. I don't know. Go ahead.
Wednesday. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on the wrong week. No, I am on the right week. Okay, Wednesday is Cappuccino Day.
Cappuccino. Okay, a little too sugary for me, but all right.
You'll love this one. Thursday is Chaos Never Dies Day. But you know, and I think that's perspective. I think in some respects, there is chaos in the world, but
I
Yeah.
think it's the interpretation also, because things that go on around us, chaotic perhaps, I think we can kind of breathe them off maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just looking, I just happened to glance that Debbie Miller's, where you're going to work in or on your, it would get caught on things. So
Yeah,
I'll keep my
absolutely.
sparkly gown,
I know. And Terry Ann is definitely our teddy bear girl. So
Yes.
hug a bear day, we could do a teddy bear.
But tomorrow we expect to see a post, Terry Ann. No pressure.
No pressure.
Let's see. Friday is Forget Me Not Day, and they're showing flowers. Forget Me Nots are real pretty, and of course, I didn't do any backgrounds, but they're pretty. They're usually blue with a yellow center.
Absolutely. Karen has sent me forget me nots before.
And she
Forget me not seeds. Yes.
very cool. And then Origami Day is on Saturday, and I have never tried it and don't have a desire because it looks complicated.
People who are good at it are good at it, and then there's me. So I have gifts, I suppose, but that ain't one of them.
Well, I don't see you sitting around,
Oh,
folding paper.
I can't. I
I
know.
don't know.
See, I
Maybe it's just
actually
me.
can't imagine. And then fold this over here and twist this over here, and now it makes a little doodah.
It's
not a good
it's
fit
supposed
for
to look like a swan. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a good fit for me.
So, and then to round off or start the week, it's happy hour day on the 12th. So,
A happy hour on a Monday.
on a Sunday.
Oh my goodness, on a Sunday. Oh my goodness. Okay. Maybe
So,
that's because they're going to be watching the Chiefs game.
no, it's a bye week. So,
Oh, is it seriously? How are we going to survive without Chiefs game?
that's fine. We'll be okay. They need a break. So do we.
Yeah.
After this little heart attack time,
I'm serious. Oh my gosh. Absolutely.
So what else is new in your world, Queenie? Anything new?
Well, I have been following you on social media, by the way.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, I know. So when you are stalked, when you are notified on your YouTube channel, things like that, that piece for me is amazing. Yeah, Debbie wants us to watch the Packers. Okay. I actually like green, and I do happen to know that's green.
And I need to clarify, Debbie, Miss Debbie, all due respect, I'm a Bears fan first. So and she understands that. That's
Here
that.
we go. I know. I can do green and gold. But honestly, I have been watching your social media on YouTube specifically, and it's phenomenal the amounts of views you get on your shorts. And so I'm so serious. I have not been utilizing shorts effectively at all yet. And so I'm super excited about that. And speaking of, since you guys are here and you are our close in bestie community, I have chosen my word for 2024. And I'm sure you can figure out what it is now, but it is, yes, seriously, it is yet. And so I am blown away by the amount of groups I'm in and the places I go and the trainings I do. And so when I say, tell me about your something, or how did you figure out your this, they instantly say, I didn't do this. And then they go, yet. And so I must say that a lot because people are saying it back at me. So yeah, I haven't done this yet, or fixed this yet, or accomplished this yet. So that really is my word, because I feel that it is bringing a new message to people. I had a girl on the call today with Debbie, and she was brand new to Posting Party. And she said, I was too embarrassed to show you guys what was on my screen, so I haven't opened up my profile. And I was like, wow, isn't that an interesting thing that you didn't want us to see it because you hadn't even heard of this yet. And so you didn't know you could do some of the cool stuff I teach. It's all free, obviously, for the LinkedIn stuff. And she hadn't done it yet. She didn't have a profile banner. She didn't have any of that yet. And so that was her thing. And I said, we don't come out of the box this way. This takes years sometimes for some of us to get a grip. Now, Doc, you have been, do you remember when you actually started your gardening shorts? Like, was that around your greenhouse time? Because your explosive growth in a very short time has been something that I think a lot of people are watching.
I started, I do believe, in June.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
and look at all the views you've had because of that. And then certainly your subscribers have happened by osmosis almost. And so that really is a phenomenal message to your SEO.
Yeah, I started in June with 54 people. And I can remember even back then, like a lot of my videos were, I was like, yay, I got 10 views, you know?
Right. I know. And all of a
um,
sudden you hit that double digit and you think you're a superstar. And then I see your stuff and it's like, gosh. And didn't you post something yesterday that all of a sudden you got 6,000 hits in 10 minutes? And I'm like, OMG.
I wish, you know, I'd be monetized, but no, I only have 1.6 thousand.
Oh, I'm sorry, 1.6. Yeah, that's
1,600, but that's good. Yeah. And I'm at just, I would like to get to, I'm at 79,772 views, and I would like to try to get to 80,000 by this, you know, next couple of days. And, you know, it's some of the shorts I think that are going to do well, don't do. And then the ones that do well, like composting, you're like, okay, it makes absolutely no sense, but all right. But you know, I actually here in the next couple of weeks, and maybe we can throw the question out, and I'll put it on our Facebook page. Is I was going to do a little training about YouTube Shorts, because there's little caveats and a lot of little things that you can do, and different sources. You know, people are intimidated, but you know the way I look at it, and it's just me. It's just 15 seconds, and you don't have to show your face, because if you look at my shorts or my reels on Instagram, I want to say I might have one or two on there, maybe, where you see my face. Not many. It's always I'm always got it on something else. You might see my hands, but you really don't.
I really have noticed that, actually, because is there a strategic reason, like you get more views if you don't show a person?
You know, they're saying the opposite, but I've had so much success on just and I'm looking at the content and the topic or the subject matter for that moment. You know, like for instance, my 6,000 views on the compost, you see my hand carrying my little container and dumping it into my compost bin.
Yeah, the highest one I've got, which is nowhere close to you, but I literally poured a glass of Kangen water at your recommendation. And so I thought, who's going to give a rip about a glass of Kangen water being poured out of a K8 and 74 views? And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know 74 people. And so I just thought
interesting.
Seriously. And I didn't do the post correctly, the short correctly, now that I've watched yours. And so I would definitely love to go to your class.
Yes, I would love to just kind of, you know, help people take that next step. I know it's intimidating, but once you do it, it gives you another tool to get, you know, just, you know, and mine are, of course, mainly, of course, in the summertime is all the gardening. But as you notice it, like I'm running out of topics because I'm not outside. So I just flip it to whatever's going on. So,
well, and that's the other thing. Not everyone's content would be the same.
Correct.
Because obviously I'd be focusing on water or my book reviews or my final footprints or any of the stuff I'd be doing that way. So that's I would love to have you do a class. I mean, I realize time is at a premium. I get that. But if you would be willing, I would love to be able to promote that.
I'd love to. And we can post it on our Facebook page. I'll make up a little Canva little announcement. But yeah, just
what is the difference between an Instagram reel and a YouTube short?
Well, they can be the same time. It's just the tools they give you to post that video. I mean, really, that's the way I look at it. YouTube is more popular than Instagram. And I was on Instagram last year until they changed the algorithm. And I went from reaching 70,000 people a post, a reel, to like 300. And I'm like, there's something wrong. And I haven't really gotten back to it because I've been having a lot of fun and I get a lot of traction with YouTube. Plus, you know, I'm doing videos all the time. So, you know, you might as well just, but I do cross pollinate, but not as much as my videos on Instagram. So, but I'm sorry, I'm all over the place on my answer. They basically are the same thing. It's just that slightly different approach on the tools for your video, for your reel or your short.
Well, I have found the short procedure, even as incorrectly as I did it just to get it out there to see if I could. Now that you've taught me some nuances within that to zap it, I'm actually, In fact, I'm watching for a delivery right now. I'm actually hoping I'm going to do a new short today about a delivery I'm having, and I'm super excited about it because of my snake oil conversation. And so being able to train people on snake oil is seriously one of my favorite things about public speaking. And so now that you've taught me how to do the texting in there, I'm going to add public speaking and snake oil. And this one is actually called Elixir. And I'm going to see what the content is of that and post that as a short, because there are still people out there that do not do or will not do public speaking. And I'm just like, I promise if I can do it, anybody can do it. And so that's one of the things. But snake oil, I think, is such a great training tool.
It's a totally good, and you know, to bounce off of your waiting that to come, like, and this is a way to think about it with the short. You can have yourself walking to the door, opening the door, picking up the package, opening the package, and then you pull I've done that with stuff that I get. You know, all of those,
how do you make that be 15 seconds though?
You take short little videos.
Okay.
So you make 2 or 3 seconds.
Your camera puts them all together. Mine doesn't do that. Remember, when I hit stop, it stops it.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, so you got to think through it a little bit more. So
okay, so I was just wondering if that was a short topic, because I remember you said on your Android you can literally video fix your something, and it squishes all together. When I hit stop, mine's done, and so that's why I was wondering.
On YouTube Shorts, you can back up too. I don't know if you knew that. You can back up and do it again. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at your camera. We'll have to do a Doc and Queenie. Doc visits Queenie.
Yeah. Yeah, let's schedule that. I can't wait to see when that will be. We did a schedule today for one of my other groups, and they said, "Can you do 3? No. Can you do 4:30? I can do 5:15. Nope, I can't do that." We were doing this back and forth, and I went, "Oh my gosh!"
I'm glad you're not Queenie.
Seriously, and we just needed 15 minutes, and it didn't happen. So I know. All right, my friend, I am super excited for your success, and if you will do a class for us, like I say, this will be ginormous. Oh my gosh.
It'd be a lot of fun. So what is our word? I wonder what our word of the day is going to be today, Queenie.
Let's see if it's going to be YouTube short.
I hope not.
Yeah, I know. Seriously. What is the name of it? Doc and Queenie, words have meaning. There we go. All right. Shuffle. 5 for me, 7 for Doc, 6 in the middle. Boom. All right. Doc and Queenie, words have meaning. Here we go, my friends. It is. Oh my gosh, no, this is cool.
Intentional.
Intentional.
Okay, Queenie, what do you think about that?
Intentional. The opposite of intentional for me is random. And so I feel that most of what I do, business-wise, certainly with my water business, but even my books, and certainly my networking is intentional. And so very few times do I do a random or I guess you would call it haphazard anything. And so everything I do is strategic and intentional. What about you, Doc?
I'm a little bit of both. You know, our personalities are a little opposite. But
I've heard that oil and water thing. Is that a thing? Yeah.
Yeah. I would say my intentionality, you know, and we're talking about videos. I try to cross-pollinate my videos even with my blogs. So like the topic right now is I have squirrels digging up my garlic, which really ticks me off. So, so I did a short on covering it with chicken wire. I have a new video coming out that's going to show how I'm planting garlic. I've got some blogs that I'm working on, you know, so it's all intentional to basically be giving the same message. And I get, you know, that part is intentional. Sometimes things change, especially in the gardening during the summertime, and there's things that happen that are unexpected. And that's where it's not intentional. You kind of have to put out the fire or figure it out on the spot. That's where the unintentional comes into play. But as far as, you know, networking in those types, I am intentional, and I have goals, many goals, long-term goals, and it's step by step by step.
Yeah. And I would think, quite frankly, in a gardening business, there are a lot of variables. And
Mhm.
so you would still have to be intentional on your variables, even though that
Yes.
sounds like a dichotomy, because if you're not intentional, those variables can destroy what you're working on.
Right. The basics of gardening or the foundations are all the same, and then you have all of these different pieces that can go in different directions. But if you keep to your basics and your foundation, you can usually figure it out. But yeah, it would be great if you did the basics and it all fell into place and everything
Yeah.
grew.
In a perfect world, wouldn't that be fun?
Squirrels stayed away and waved instead of dug up your garlic, which they've never done ever. So
And now they do. Yeah, I love that. Lisa Fredrickson is excited for classes. So
yay.
we are definitely excited for Lisa to be on with us today. And I really mean that to all of our faithful friends on purpose. I love the fact that
Definitely.
we have such a reach and uh, different members of our community are great at certain things. And a lot of times, and certainly think about this too, any of you on the call now or watching on the replay, if you want a class on something, or even if you want to teach a class on something, we could seriously spread that to Doc and Queenie classes. And so we'd be able to put that on our main Doc and Queenie Facebook page and certainly do the recording so it will be there for anyone to watch it. So if that's a fit for you, obviously we're still doing Doc and Queenie Guest Live. We've got one of those coming up, I think in December, right, Doc?
I do believe so.
And so, but then we do Doc and Queenie classes. And then depending upon what we're talking about, we can pull you onto the class. If you say, I'm good at this, or I need more help with, we could pull you up here on stage as well. So please consider that if you haven't already.
Yes. All right.
I'm intentionally moving my chickens off my project. Whoa.
That's major.
That
That's
is
major.
a big step. That is a big step.
I'm afraid to ask why, but
Yes.
we'll have to follow up.
We'll do that in a private conversation. How's that?
Yes.
We'll do that in a private conversation. All right, let's see what our topics is before we say goodbye today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, shuffle. All right. Because I know that these half hours go so quick, it's amazing. Woo! This is perfect.
Algorithm.
I know. And so the algorithm piece, first of all, let's define it, Doc. That would be probably the bigger thing. And then once we define algorithm, you can talk about how it has played such a huge part in your success journey.
Algorithm is computerized, and it basically, and I always think of it from a YouTube or whatever, Facebook or whatever social media platform view. It basically is designed to and I'm trying to think of how to.
I cheated to look it up just to give people an example of the topic. Algorithm is a process or set of rules to be followed in calculations or other problem-solving operations, especially by a computer, like you said. And so it's a basic algorithm for division. And recipes are a great example of algorithm in everyday life. They illustrate a replicable set of steps to accomplish a specific goal, such as baking blueberry muffins or cooking spaghetti sauce from scratch. So you can imagine that I absolutely love the recipe innuendo.
I know you do. Well, and I was thinking, I was going to go to, it's kind of like a flow chart. This happens. So,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And as far as like I had mentioned before, Instagram kind of ticked me off because their algorithm, they changed it. And so my reach for my reels was not getting, the numbers, but they tweaked it somehow. There were a lot of upset people. Yeah, algorithm patterns make it so that you can replicate aspect repetitive. Yes, and it makes a difference, and that's kind of the wonderful caveat of we have to cross pollinate, and we have to hashtag, and we have to be intentional because we want the algorithm to notice us. Basically, don't you think that would be a good way to explain it?
Absolutely. And for me, it is reach you weren't expecting. And that is where my brain goes, because I've gotten subscribers to my YouTube channel that not only have I never met before, but they are literally like outside my quote network. And so I know the hashtags and all the things I do social media wise have been effective that way with my subscribers. I don't know who they are. And certainly my followers on LinkedIn. Now, I don't obviously accept anybody random as far as a follower or a connection, like those people who say, you're so beautiful, I can't wait to meet you. Yeah, right. Thank oh, gosh. And so that's why I call it creeper alert. And so those are the kind of things, though, that I think about as far as traffic. People find us accidentally because of how our reach is going with the algorithm piece.
You know, and this is your favorite topic. Speaking of recipes, I was on Instagram the other day, and there was a recipe that I saw. The algorithm has me looking at recipes right now. In addition to snorkeling, I'm trying to think of what some of the others are, but it's all gardening, snorkeling, and recipes right now.
Wow. That is funny. Yeah, because mine, of course, is death and hospice, and it is.
I know. Yeah, well, I'm very fortunate.
I'm so serious, but that's what I'm getting now. It's hysterical because now I'm getting specific things, and it's like, oh my gosh. And then of course I look at this and go, how did that happen? Oh yeah, my final footprints. Good job.
So I found this recipe, which was, I'm always looking for quick, not many ingredients, healthy recipe. Found one. And she of course said, the link to the recipe is in my bio. So I noticed she was from Kansas City. And so I said, hey, glad to see somebody from Kansas City, and I put that in the comments. And so we both are following each other, but it was fun because that came on there. And then we've started a little conversation. If that algorithm didn't work, I probably never would have known she was out there.
And that is hysterical because Debbie and I go to Christian Women Entrepreneur Network based in San Diego, and actually now in Modesto, California. And so as soon as we get there, we get to meet Lynette. And so everybody, Rebecca always says, where are you from and we're home base and that stuff. And Lynette says Olathe. And I was like, what? And so, I go all the way to San Diego to meet a lady across the street, and because she really lives blocks from my house.
That's cool.
And so, you just never know what the traffic is going to look like when you look for something else, and you find them in your own backyard.
I know. It's a lot of fun. So guess what?
Wait a second before you leave, por favor. What is the lady doing that did the recipe? Like, is she a gardener to your level or?
No, she basically is into food and cooking, and she just was posting.
Oh, okay. I just was wondering if she was in your realm with your.
No, she's not a gardener that I'm aware of, but okay. She's healthy cooking. I'll have to go back and look.
Okay, well, that's very cool because that sounds like a dynamic collaboration already.
Yeah, it was just fun I'm like, oh my gosh, she's from Kansas City. So, yep.
Yeah, I love that so much.
So any parting words before we depart, Queenie?
Well, I'm telling you what, from the excitement buzzing on my phone right this second, everybody wants your class. So Doc and Queenie classes is our next treat that we are going to provide with different things that we do. And honestly, I realize end of the year, everybody's busy, but we will make sure that they stay. What do you think, Doc? Can we stick to 57 minutes?
Oh, I'm sure we can. It'd be easy.
Okay. And so if we stick to 57 minutes, that way we'll have snippet classes, so to speak. So a little dangle the carrot of Canva, a little dangle the carrot of LinkedIn and traffic, a little dangle the carrot of YouTube Shorts. And we'll keep the classes short, and they'll be on Facebook right here on our page. That way you'll be able to go back and reference them. And then, of course, Lord willing, and the ships don't rise, or however they say that, we'll be able to put them on our YouTube channel so everybody can share them with other people too.
Yes. And expect it. My goal right now, unless, who knows, but I'm thinking between the holidays, maybe one class. Okay. Because leading up to Thanksgiving, I originally thought, well, maybe the week of Thanksgiving, but a lot of people travel and we're busy with getting ready.
Oh, I'm sure. Certain people will be in the K room also, and I will be saying extra prayers for each and every one of you.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what children are for, isn't it?
I know. I like the way you think.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for Doc and Queenie Facebook Live every Monday at noon. We will be back here, like I said, every Monday at
high noon.
But until then, have a fantastic week. And if you want to reach out to Queenie, she's KathyWeaverKC.com or myself, KitchenGardenExpert.com, or all over social media. You can look for Kathy Weaver KC or Kitchen Garden Expert. Have a blessed week, and we will catch you right back here next Monday. Thank you, Queenie. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Love it. Thank you, my friends. Bye for now. Bye, Doc.
Bye, Queenie.
Doc and Queenie classes. I like it.